Okay, I'd like to call the Board of Selectmen's meeting back in order, and I'd like to welcome, sorry. Whoa. I'd like to welcome the rest of the Finance Committee and let them open their meeting.
Okay, call the September 8th, 2020 meeting of the Freetown Finance Committee to order. And members present are Christine, Kate, Craig, and myself, the chair, Gary Martin. Absent at the moment are Bob, Huguette, and Carol. Okay, so shall we handle our brief business before handling the joint business?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to have Tim just call the roll for the Board of Selectmen.
Sure.
All right. Looks like we still have Selectman Matthews on the line. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald actually had to leave. We've left his space open if he wants to come back. So we're good. And also joining us, we have Chief Carlton Abbott. Chief Sylvia is here, as is Jeffrey Chandler, the building commissioner, on the line as well.
Okay, hi everybody. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, so first item of business is to approve the minutes from our last meeting, which I believe was July 14th. I don't have it open in front of me at the moment, but I can try to find that. Let's see. Yes, everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes.
Yes.
Yes. Were any corrections to be made?
I didn't see any.
Okay. So let's see, should I guess I'll ask for a motion to approve them.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I have a second. That's Katie second?
Yep.
Or, yeah, okay. So Katie seconding and Craig making the motion. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, Craig
Aye.
and Katie
Aye.
and Christine,
Aye.
Gary, aye. Okay, so minutes are approved. We also have a bill for our annual dues in the Association of Town Finance Committees from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 in the amount of $180. The question before us is whether to approve payment of that bill. Do I have a motion?
I'll make
I'll
a
make-
motion.
Okay, go ahead.
Go
Go ahead.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion.
Okay, that's,
80. Sorry.
and a second.
I'll
Second.
I'll say that that's Craig.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Craig,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Gary, aye. Okay. Okay, so I guess I also need authority to sign for the committee on that. So a motion to authorize me to sign the bill.
I'll make a motion. Christine.
Christine, a second.
I'll second.
Katie, and Craig,
Aye.
and Katie. Katie,
Aye.
and Christine,
Aye.
and Gary, aye. Okay, so I think that's our business. So I'll turn it back to Lisa.
All right, so we'll probably go over the warrant first, and then we'll go over the budget second. When we go over the budget, we'll just do the highlighted areas that are supplemental or things that we took out in the last budget that either A, we didn't know if were really necessary, or B, not necessary at the time, but still necessary moving forward. So we weren't sure about the budget, but it looks like everything that we anticipated so far is okay, so we're good. So Tim has everything in front of you. Hopefully everybody can see it. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Perfect. All righty, here we go. Again, if you have a hold or you want to hold on something, we will hold on it, discuss it later, and then come back to it and make a vote. But the first one is proposed article for the town clerk salary. We already approved this at the meeting, but it was the wrong amount, so it's just fixing it to the correct amount. It's $100 off. Everybody okay?
Yep.
Okay. Proposed article number 2 we'll be going over when we go through the omnibus budget. Number 3 is expenses for the elections and salary workers. This is just because of the new vote by mail and what it's going to cost for us. Okay, article number 4, additional salary for the assistant town clerk and additional town meetings. I mean, it's self-explanatory. There's not enough money in her budget right now with the unanticipated additional town meetings that we had. So that's that. And also for the early voting in September primary and November presidential elections. So it's just to reimburse our budget. Okay, Article 5, additional salary for the Board of Registrars, same thing, $350. Article number 6 has been withdrawn, correct?
That's correct. The highway surveyor actually gave me a letter today, dated September 4th. After further consideration, I would like to withdraw the article relative to laying out Elizabeth and Captain Harris drives at this time. Although I still believe it is right to pursue these projects. I understand there are concerns relative to the state budget and the town's financial outlook. I hope to submit these articles again in the spring.
Okay. Article number 7, I don't think anybody is ever against reducing the bond, the bond anticipation note. So I think we should be all good with article number 7. Article number 8 is increase the operating budget for the water sewer enterprise fund. Really doesn't have anything to do with us, only that we're saying yes or no. It's coming from their budget, not ours. So there should be nothing to discuss on article 8 or article 9. Article 10 is just to pay the prior year sewer. Same thing, it comes from their enterprise fund, so we should be all set. Article 11, David, do you want to speak to that?
Lisa, Kim has her hand up for a
Oh,
comment.
I can't see everybody.
It disappears when you do the screen
Okay.
sharing.
Is it
Go
okay
ahead,
to
Kim.
speak, Lisa?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to give an update on Article 9. The amount that was originally put forth is actually the incorrect amount. It's a little bit lower. So the amount, instead of the 304,692.87, it should be reduced to 256,199.27. And we are only paying bills from fiscal 20, not fiscal 19. Those have been resolved through accounts payable that was set aside and through bleeding credits.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kim. I can't see you, so just yell at me.
Okay,
In a nice way, please.
absolutely.
Okay, Article 11, David?
Yes, when I originally had proposed this, I had recommended the sum of $25,000. After a little bit more exploration in terms of the cameras and the equipment that's going to be needed to create a control room for the new police station, and the timing of that, my original intent was to time it with the new Comcast contract being signed. I'm not sure that those funds are going to be available as quickly as I originally thought they were. So I would like to request that we amend the article from $25,000 to $50,000, which will give us sufficient funds to fully equip with cameras, as well as a control center that's going to be located in a closet, provide for a switch in the dispatch area for the actual control of the system. It's important to note that these aren't monies that are being raised. These monies already exist. We have, I want to say, Kim, $170,000 that we've collected in receipts. And what we're basically doing is just taking that money out of the reserve receipts account and now expending those funds that we've accumulated over a number of years to equip the new police station community room with the camera system that will allow us to do live broadcasts as well as other kinds of programming.
So just to reiterate, this does not come out of the general fund. It comes out of the cable related fund, which
All
we-
there.
yeah, which we
Money is
all
already
paid for.
there. Yeah.
So we're not taking any money from the general fund. It's just transferring the money over so we can buy some of that equipment that we've been saving money for.
If you want to do it on a timely basis, that's what I would recommend that we do.
Okay, article number 12, vote to rescind the article for a part-time conservation agent to be hired by the Board of Selectmen. I guess they just want to rescind this because they feel, I guess, is anybody here to talk about this? I want to just make sure I understand. They're rescinding it because they're not going to hire these two people, or they're rescinding it because they have the authority to hire the two people? Does anybody know?
I'm looking through what Mike had submitted here. I don't have it in order.
It just says, since state law already empowers the Conservation Commission to appoint employees, this article, though well-intentioned, was not necessary to create this position and improperly delegated. Additionally, the reference salary schedule is now outdated.
Yeah, Mike had said that the articles are not truly necessary. The Conservation Commission can still appoint an agent at a future time, regardless of whether that vote is rescinded or not. And the selectmen can still set a pay rate if and when that position is ever filled. It just seems clearer to rescind it since it's technically not the correct appointment method and references an outdated pay chart. So I don't think they have plans to do it just yet, but in the future they might have plans.
Okay, we should be good with that then. Article 13.
Leave it in, or do you want to get rid of it?
What?
If you want
No,
to leave
just-
the article.
Yeah, just leave it there. Gary, everybody, I guess we'll vote on it at the end, but
Yeah.
unless there's a hold on it, I'm just gonna keep moving along. Proposed article number 13, transfer of land held in tax title to the Conservation Commission. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. It's just a better protection for the town. Article 14, requirement of filing special legislation. Again, I don't know. This came from the town moderator. He's not here to speak to it?
That's correct. He submitted this article to try to avoid what happened at the last town meeting where we didn't get the legislation until just before the meeting. We're not sure how enforceable it is, but at the very least, it's something, a guideline that we can point to and say, please follow this. For
Okay.
petition.
Perfect. Article 15 is just to look over our town bylaws and procedures related only to town meetings, not to anything else. So there'll be a committee, they'll look at it and make some recommendations for a future meeting. Okay. Article 16, changing from an elected town clerk position to an appointed town clerk position. So right now, Jackie is leaving in December. Jackie, for those that don't know, was technically she was elected indefinitely. So she was elected even though she didn't have to run every year indefinitely. So she is retiring. Now we come to a point where either the assistant town clerk has to run and hopefully win, or the Board of Selectmen can appoint a town clerk. But this is also true for the next one, the appointed highway surveyor as well. What happens is they still have to run, and it's also going to be a ballot question for the whole town. So if we say yes here, it goes on our general election as a ballot question, and then these people, whomever wants to be it, still has to run. If they win, they can be appointed. If they don't win, they can be appointed by the Board of Selectmen. And that's what those two articles are about. If anybody has any questions. If I didn't explain it right, just let me know. Okay. Article 18, protective bylaw change regarding large-scale ground-mounted solar. We've had a lot of things in town, complaints sort of about solar and some of the protections of some of the areas that they're putting them in, residential areas specifically. So this is just going to give us another way to protect our environment, protect residential areas, and looking at our zoning when in regards to solar. Okay, Article 19, transfer to the Capital Stabilization Fund. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. And Article 20, transfer to the regular stabilization fund. And I don't think anybody has any problem with that, correct? All right, Board of Selectmen, I'll entertain a motion to accept the proposed articles as presented.
Motion granted.
And I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
And Selectman Grunwald is no longer present, so he's.
Does that include the 50,000 of,
Yes.
okay.
All right. Are we ready to go to the omnibus now, or do we want to?
I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what the finance committee is doing. Are you waiting, Gary?
Well, did you vote recommendations, or are you approving to put these articles on the warrant?
We're moving to put all the articles forward that we just went over.
Yeah, but you didn't make recommendations on them, no.
Not yet, no.
So we don't vote on putting things on the warrant, so.
No, I didn't know if you were going to vote on a recommendation or not, because
I think probably not.
okay.
Unless members of the committee want to.
Tim, when do you need the recommendations by?
The warrant has to be posted by the 19th, so the 18th, because the 19th is a Saturday. So we would need to, if we're not going to be doing everything tonight, we're going to need a second meeting sometime either later this week or next week.
So do the members of the finance committee have a feeling about this? Do you want to vote on recommendations tonight?
Fine.
Yeah, I'll go with the consensus, rest of the board.
Katie, what's your feeling?
Yeah, that's fine. We can do it tonight.
We can do it tonight. Christine?
Yeah, I'm good with tonight. That's fine.
Okay. Carol hasn't joined us, has she?
No.
No. Okay. So do we want to?
Gary, we can make a recommendation tonight as well. So we'll make it easier for everybody. If you're good with that, Trevor.
Yep. I'm good with that.
Okay, so do we want to do that now?
Yeah, go ahead, Gary, and then we'll do ours.
Okay. How do people feel about recommending all of the articles as a group, or are there individual ones that people want to take separately?
I don't see it controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary, if there's no other discussion, I'll go along with that.
Yep.
Okay.
Same with me.
Yeah, can I have a motion to recommend all of the articles?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, the one thing I thought of is that some of them may not be financial, so they might not be things that we should be recommending on.
Before you continue, Gary, Kim actually has a comment or a question along those lines.
Thanks, Tim. I just wanted to make mention of the items that don't have the dollar amount filled in, like the
Yeah.
reduction for the bond anticipation note and for the transfers to the regular and capital stabilization. I do have a suggested number that can be discussed. Otherwise, we can hold off on that, but you would still need to be able to take a vote on an amount, either right before town meeting if there's no other meeting scheduled. So I'm not sure how you guys want to do that. I mean, I can certainly present my recommendation for those articles so we can have a number for discussion.
Yeah.
So
Again, Kim,
I'm gonna,
I'm sorry.
no worries. So the way I look at it is we can just vote to recommend the articles. We're never gonna vote not to put money away in stabilization of capital. And we can decide those numbers after, when we have a clearer understanding of what we're gonna have. So we can Gary, we can have a quick meeting before town meeting to know what those amounts are gonna be. And then usually we just stick them in there. So that's how I feel. That doesn't matter, whatever way you want to do it, but
Yeah.
Do we want, Kim, would you want to go through the sheet? Because I think that, the application of free cash towards the band to buy it down to 4 million is a substantial, it's a good thing. And just to let the board know that, as well as the plans regarding, although free cash is not certified, how we're going to get to the numbers that will end up there eventually after everything else is funded. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. Lisa and Gary, do you want me to talk about that? Or again, if it's your preference to discuss it at another point, that's certainly fine. Because as David stated, free cash is not certified. Everything has been submitted to the state. Again, this is just my recommendation. It hasn't been discussed with anybody else at this point.
Can't get it.
I would like to wait, personally, I would like to wait to see what free cash is going to be certified at, so we have a number certain before we have recommendations from anybody. Then we more or less have a better idea of what we're going to do. That's just me personally. Gary has his own.
I think that's a good idea. The one thing I'm concerned about is us getting a quorum at town meeting. Are those who are here tonight, are you able to make it to the October 3rd town meeting? Christine, are you able to go?
I don't know yet. I don't know the sports schedule.
Time is the
Oh.
meeting?
Is it?
Board actually has not decided a time yet.
Oh, okay. And it's on a Saturday, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Probably in the morning, you think?
The board plans on voting that later tonight. I don't know if you guys do it now or.
Yeah, I think they wanted to try it for like afternoon, like early afternoon, because I guess turnout in the morning is not good. But again, like we're putting money away into stabilization and capital stabilization. How we divide it out, I mean, to me, it's both going away. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't foresee a problem with it as long as we have enough people present at the meeting to on a recommendation if necessary.
Okay, Trevor, I'm gonna make.
Craig, you able to go?
Trevor,
Yep.
I'll entertain a motion to recommend all articles as submitted.
Motion granted.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
right, Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Chico.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, don't know whether, I guess we ought to do the same. There is, certainly is Kim's question about setting the amounts. But yeah, if anybody wants to make the motion, this motion, we can vote on it.
Yeah, Gary, I'll make the motion.
Okay. Okay, just make a motion to recommend all articles as written.
Pending the actual numbers,
Uh,
especially Article 7.
Okay, so that means we would have to meet once we know the actual numbers. Right? So the idea is going to be to recommend everything that has firm numbers now, right?
Correct.
Okay. So do I have a second for that?
I'll second, Christine.
Christine. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Craig,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
and Christine,
Aye.
and Gary, aye. Okay, so we'll need another meeting once the numbers are firm. Okay.
All right. Are we ready to move on to the omnibus, or do we want to?
I am. Is everybody else ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we're just looking all the way over to K, and we're looking at just the comments. So town moderator for dues. Selectmen $950 for mailings for the annual town meeting and the standard, town meetings. Are you good? Standard, those standard town meetings. All right, all the way to the, so we'll just go through them. If there's a hole, just put a hole, Gary, or anybody else, and then we'll address it after. Okay, assessors. This is for a new director of assessing position. So I'm gonna put a hold on that. Tim, I can't see the actual amount. Can we hide columns D and E or just E?
D or E?
It doesn't matter.
E is the one that you want.
D is fine.
So
Actually, K is the only one I really care about right now, but go ahead. Okay,
can you see everything now?
yes, thank you.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna put a hold on that. The other one is increase of $30 for postage rate increase. Assessors reevaluation, 1 year for the 3-year professional service contract. This is a huge increase. I'm not sure what's actually involved in that. So that's something that just to keep in mind. It has to be done, but I'm just not sure what the new contract entails. Okay, all the way down to 145 for postage for the town clerk and $60 for printing of a new vendor. Okay, all the way down to Conservation Commission, 2 new seasonal part-time staff positions. I'd like to put a hold on that. Next. Reduce personnel for lower wages and new hire, add $8,000 to expense for cleaning, increase new police station utilities, included Comcast, expand, blah, 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 repair and maintenance of the buildings. Carlton
Yep.
or Jeff, both of you want to talk about that? So
I don't. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, I'm not sure what those figures are in front of you, but whatever Jeff is relying on would have been based upon Comcast figures. I believe Comcast is going up a couple of $100 per month from what we pay at the existing station to the new service at the new police station. Some of the services we get at the current station are for free. However, that will not be the case at the new station.
Okay. And the $33,000 is Comcast and also for new police station utilities. What do you mean by utilities?
I'm not quite sure what it was presented, but several months ago, I surveyed, I believe it was 3 area police departments, Lakeville, Westport, and Middleborough, that were newly constructed, and obtained the cost of electricity, propane, etc., and shared my survey results with the administrator and with Jeff.
Okay, and then I think what happened was we looked back, or I looked back, or I asked Andy to submit what the cost he gave us was, and it was totally different when what the cost of what you had. You know, like he gave us a cost on what the utilities were going to cost us, and that's what we went by. So I'm not sure what the difference is and where we're going with that. So it's something that we really have to monitor because they were 2 extremes.
Lisa, Kim actually has a comment.
So, Kim, go ahead.
Sorry, I had to find the unmute button. I did actually a little schedule to try and work through this. And I think both points that you folks have brought up were kind of in play here. Originally, Carlton did reach out to other departments and got an estimate. And there was also work done from an engineering company to take a look at the estimated annual electric, heating, and maintenance agreements for the new police station. One of the issues that was brought up within that estimate was kind of like a contingency or an inflation factor, which was 30%. So that was not really factored in when we originally reviewed the utilities for the budget. So that is still kind of in play here. So part of what we're looking at is a potential increase for electric, even based on the fact that we're going to be in the building later than July 1st of an additional 3,000. There's also maintenance agreements, which may or may not need to be funded. Again, a lot of things would probably be under warranty, but that's about 10,000. So the utilities and the maintenance piece is really 13,000. The Comcast is actually going to be double from what we're currently paying based on the quoted information that the chief got. So that's going to be another 4,700. Again, even factoring in a prorated amount based on, say, an October 1st start date for move in. So all said, that's looking at about 17,800 towards utilities for the police station. And then there were some other increases that Jeff had requested related to repair and maintain of buildings and grounds for the town hall, the highway barn, and some of the other properties like the bandstand area, the schoolhouse next door, the Hathaway Park, and then also some electricity increases into the facilities budget. So all of that came to just over 7,000. So that's really how we're getting to the net increase of 25,000. That's kind of a breakdown of what we're looking at. Not
Thank
sure if
you.
that's more helpful.
No,
I
that
think-
helps a lot. I have a question though. Why are we reverting back to putting like bandstand and that kind of thing? Why are we reverting back to putting it there and not onto capital improvement?
It's nothing significant. It's more like we pay for electricity next door at the schoolhouse so that you can put a light on when you go over there to look at records. So there's electricity for over there. There's electricity at the bandstand. There's I'm sorry, at the park for like the flagpole and that stuff. At the Veterans Memorial, electricity. So there's electricity of almost $1,000 that we've segregated separately within the facilities budget so that we can kind of track that a little bit better. And again, the other repair items, they're small things that tend to come up. They're not, again, our threshold for that is 2,500. These are items, you know, you need to repair the toilet, you need a new faucet. They're small items that come up on a regular basis within these older buildings and just need attention.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that we're not reverting backwards, because I mean, I don't want to start making big repairs to buildings.
No, none of these are for big repairs. The important part about the police station building and in terms of the electricity and all the HVAC, the maintenance contracts, it's going to take a full year cycle to really get a handle specifically on how much the building is going to cost. You look at the size of the current police station versus the size of the new police station, it's probably 5 times bigger. So obviously in the course of having a 5 times bigger building, you're going to have a higher amount of electricity being used at any one time. And there's seasonal variations in that, as well as, like I said, it's going to take a full cycle before you truly realize and can budget accurately what the potential costs are for the new police station.
I don't think I'm denying that. I'm just thinking that, you know, when we tell people how much it's going to cost and then all of a sudden it comes back and it's not what we told them, that's what makes me a little uneasy. Okay. Anybody have any other questions on public buildings and property maintenance? Okay, next. New secretary, $40,585 prorated, and CBA retirement incentive, $53.68. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, I do, of course, sorry. First of all, the CBA retirement incentive, Carlton, we should have money in the budget for that, because we didn't do parade and fireworks this year, and our overtime budget is probably inflated and probably has to come back.
So I would say this, Lisa, to your point, parade and fireworks usually cost us around $3,000. But this year, our total overtime was reduced under the consensus budget by over $23,000. Also, we continue to backfill Sergeant Magnet shifts, and we've had 2 or 3 officers to date that have quarantined. We've had to backfill those positions. We've had 1 officer on FMLA and another officer to begin taking FMLA in October. So I actually think all of those things I just itemized are going to cost more than $3,000 or $4,000. And those, again, those things I just itemized were not foreseeable at all.
So, but those things that were not foreseeable, those should be covered under the COVID costs. Are we getting reimbursed for that?
Well, FMLA, you wouldn't, it's not related to COVID. I don't know whether the officers that have quarantined, if that money was been, submitted for COVID. Certainly Sergeant Magnet's shifts aren't. So.
No, but we should get reimbursed for those other ones that we asked them to quarantine. That's kind of what the money is for. So I want to make sure that, we're not losing money or leaving money on the table that the state is going to give us. So I think that that's important. And the new confidential secretary. So I'm assuming, is this a totally new position? Are you going to use, somebody that's already there and work half-time somewhere in dispatch maybe and half-time in your office?
No, this would be a totally new position.
So we're down an officer. And now, so we need money for that, but we're gonna have a new conference secretary.
Well, I don't see how one is related to the other, but let me explain what's going on with the secretary. In 2016, I approached the Board of Selectmen and asked for help. They assigned Tim McIntosh. Tim helped out a lot, but within approximately a month, he was taken out of service up here and returned back to the town hall. The current dispatch supervisor is really filling two positions, clerical secretary and the dispatch side. I mean, you just have to come up here and look at all of the things on her desk to appreciate how thin, she's being spread. On the clerical side, for payroll, we have nobody that does the backup. Change of status forms are often delayed or not done in a timely manner. I've had to come back from vacation, cutting my vacation short a couple of days, eating the airfare to do payroll when the incumbent has been absent. The special detail billing is not being done promptly. There are arrearages, sometimes of $100,000 or more. We've got about 600 active license to carry cases. They're not being updated electronically. There are delays or no notices sent out to firearm license holders. There's well over 10,000 police reports backlogged with no electronic entries being made. Let's see, records requests, there's delays in processing those.
Carlton, I'm sorry, but I mean, I think that you and I could probably have an offside conversation about this, but I guess I'm a little taken aback because we have meetings every week. And this is the first time that I've heard that you're backlogged by that much, but I think that you and I can have an offside conversation about that. And I'm just wondering if you can just do a half-time secretary for now, see if there's enough work for that person, and then maybe go back, maybe explore a full-time, should there be a need for it, at the annual.
Yeah, Lisa, I think that's a good recommendation. We're just asking for some help here, and I think you've got a good idea there. That's a good measure to take initially, and then see where we're at.
Because we can never take a position back. We're always adding positions, but if we start off with half-time, we know where we're at. And I just want to make sure that, we also, and this was something I was going to add on our next agenda, we also have to look at what we need in the police department with some of the people, with Swede being gone and stuff. So I think, we have a police station that's beautiful. We know that it's going to cost us money in our taxes soon enough. I just don't want to start throwing money where it's not needed, sort of, and taken away from things that are needed. So that's why I just want to start off slow and go from there.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you think a half-time secretary would be?
So about 20 hours a week. And
You want
maybe we could.
to put it in for 25 and go from there? If we
Sure.
need to come back for a reserve fund transfer, we can. But I mean, at least we can start off with 25, do half-time. I don't care if you do 20 hours a week right now, or you wait until November or January to bring her on. That doesn't matter. But I think that that's a good starting point, and I think it's actually a peace offering.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kim.
Thank you. My only comment, and again, it's just from the looking at how expensive employees are. If you really want to save money, then you should only have someone for 19 hours and not
Oh,
offer
yeah.
the benefits. So that would be my recommendation is 19 or less to give it a go and see where you're really at. Because if you start at 20 or 25, you could be adding significant amounts to the budget for health, life, OPEB, retirement, all that sort of stuff. Just something to think about.
Okay, Carlton, you want to put it on 25 and then you and I can talk tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. And we're all set with the tablets in the cruisers?
I believe those tablets are for the fire department.
Oh, okay. You don't, ours are going through the police station, correct?
Yeah, so
Okay.
exactly. So the tablets and the cruisers are connected by Wi-Fi to the record management system and software in the police station. And then our police units through the police facility are connected to state and national databases. Fire department tablets, I believe, would be a little more limited. They would be connected to the new police station and the record management system in the station, but they wouldn't be accessing federal and state databases.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Carlton? No? Okay, Carlton, I think you're all set.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, communications, I think we're all set with that. CBA and then 25,000 to integrate fire with the dispatch regional, blah, blah, blah. I think we're good with that. Next, 9450 chief,
Yes.
what you got? The 9450 for training?
Yeah, basically we have an increase. We had to increase our repair and maintenance equipment account due to with the implementation of OSHA. We now have to flow test our air packs now every year. We have to have the men's and women's face pieces flow tested and fit tested each year now. So it's going to have an increased cost on just basically trying to comply with the OSHA regulations now.
Okay,
As far as the wireless phone, we had to add in another air card for the ambulances for to send EKGs wireless to the hospitals. So we have that increased cost with the wireless phones. And the other end of that is the equipment replacement is for new recruits. It costs about $3,000 to equip a new recruit. We have 4 that will put on this year. So we're in the process of equipping them with the new gear.
all right. What are we staffed at right now?
We have 29 paid on-call firefighters, and we have 11 full-time firefighters.
All right. All right, anybody have any questions for Gary? Okay, chief, you're all set, thanks.
No, I got one more.
Which one, you want to go over it now? Kim, go
Yep.
ahead.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the capital items, Gary?
I do.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, while I'm here.
Do we want to skip to that now,
we-
so I can switch this page?
Yeah, that's good.
So if you go down to the fire, you'll see that the first line is just for the tablets for the fire apparatus. Once we do this integration with the police department, which has been a long time coming, it's unfortunately for all this time we've always been separate. So now we figure with the new police station, the new computers going in there. Now's the time to make the move to integrate both police, fire, and comm, so we have all 3 tied in together. And then that's the 60,000 is for a direct source capture diesel fumes extraction for Station 2, which is the only station we have now that doesn't have one. We have submitted for an assistance to firefighter grant to cover the cost for that. So far, we have not received it, and time is running out. They got like three or four more rounds to go. So if we don't hear from that, we're gonna have to pay for it ourselves. But right now, the firefighters over there are being exposed to the diesel fumes every time the trucks start up. to go on
That,
calls.
but that's an OSHA requirement also.
And plus it's an OSHA requirement, yeah.
Do you know when we're supposed to hear back?
I believe the last round for the AFG would be September 25th. So
Okay.
it should be prior to town meeting, but my gut feeling is with health and safety, we haven't heard from them by now. I mean, they already paid for Station 3 and Station 1. So chances of us getting 3 stations done on federal money is probably slim to none, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions for Gary?
You also have some tough books in there too, Gary.
Yeah, that's the first part. That's the 36th above that we have for the tough books.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? Okay.
Nope.
Moving on.
Am I dismissed?
You are.
Thank you.
Sheesh. Okay. Thank you. Building increased repair costs. That's peanuts. Animal control officer, we took this out. She needed an iPad and service. It's easier when she's out on the road to have that iPad with her and do everything she needs right there. So, I mean, it's needed, necessary, and we took it out before. We'll put it back. Okay, next. I don't know. Highway.
This was another one that Mr. McIntyre had given a letter about. I don't know if you want me to read through the letter or.
Yeah, go ahead.
When completing the FY21 budget request last December, the Highway Department included additional funding to help cover the cost of road striping. As you know, road striping is an important public safety tool. Road striping also constitutes the single largest expense covered in the budget most years, and as the number of companies providing the service dwindles, the cost increases. It represents a slowly but steadily growing segment of the budget. Without additional funding, it will not be possible to stripe the main roads with both double center lines and fog lines, and may not be possible to stripe secondary roads at all. Alternatively, if we do stripe the roads, we will have to start parking vehicles and equipment rather than making repairs.
Okay. Next. Increased cost in disposable fees for the recycling at the transfer station. It's something that I think that the Board of Health will be looking at closely. The cost of recycling and maybe even the company that we're dealing with, something that we're going to be looking at. So, all right, next. Increased cost of $11.50 from vendors per quotes. Is that grass cutting, Tim?
That I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. It's $1,200. We can ask them later. Anybody have any questions on that one? Okay. Council on Aging. It's self-explanatory. They used to use a grant for this stuff. They took it out and now they're just going to put it back in. So next. $1,200 for 2. Do you have an explanation on that one? Not that I mean,
I believe
this was.
Sorry, David, go ahead.
It was my understanding that when there was a gap, when Dorothy was leaving, that they were anticipating having to like fill shifts and the like. And what happened was the money was required at that point, but I'm not so sure that it is now because the transition is taking place. It's fully staffed. We can ask them, but the last I had heard was that they really didn't need the money. I guess at one point somebody had spoken to Nicole about that.
I did.
At the time they were one.
Yeah,
they were
I
one
talked to.
employee down. All right, go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I talked to the chairman of the library trustees, Mr. Sadik, and he said that he's spoken to Nicole and she doesn't think overtime would ever be needed. So if the board wants to take that out, we can take it on out.
You can take it out then. If no one has any reason to leave it in, if somebody does, please speak now. There.
Take
Okay.
it out.
Take it out. We're going to throw it at the police station. Okay, so one of the things that we were worried about was unemployment because we weren't sure where our budgets were going. So we put extra money in there, but now that we know that we're not going to need any money in there, or should hopefully, cross our fingers, not need any money in there going forward, they're reducing the budget by $100,000. Is everybody comfortable with that? Okay, next.
Like just capital, which we already did.
Okay, perfect. The only thing that we need to talk about is the assessors department, if we could go right back up to that. And if David or Tim have any answers for us, and then or Kim, you too, I don't know if you guys have any answers.
I believe that Tim has gotten some correspondence from Mike Mata saying that he is available on the 9th to talk about this. Is that correct?
No, well, sort of. They said that they're going to discuss meeting with the selectmen at their next meeting, which is scheduled for tomorrow. So I don't know if someone wants to attend that meeting, or we have our own public hearing, so we won't be able to attend that meeting. So yeah, I don't know what their plan is, but it was just they would talk about meeting at that point. So I don't know what exactly that means.
Kim, do you have anything else on that or no?
I only have my 2 cents worth, which I understand that the Board of Assessors is interested in moving forward with a position. My idea, again, is that employees are expensive, and as much as we love them, that perhaps there could be an alternative of outsourcing some of the work that this assessing director would do to a firm or a consultant. I thought the way that we handled some, the recap last year worked very well. And again, that's just a small element of what this person would do. But kind of to your point, Lisa, once you put it in there, it's kind of in there for a long time. So again, I think there are other options to consider, mainly adding some money to the expense side rather than the personnel side. See if we can entertain having, a consultant or a firm take on some of those responsibilities that an assessing director would do. And again, you could try it for the remainder of the year, see how it goes. If it turns out that it's not working well, you certainly have the ability to revisit this issue at the next annual. But, we're getting to the point where, we're going to be trying to do the recap come December. You're going to need somebody in there, obviously fully experienced to be able to make that as smooth as possible. So those are my comments on that.
I would second those comments. My principal concern is that even if we went full board and said we're getting a director of assessing, that getting a qualified person in there and up and running in time to do the recap will be a big challenge. And do we want to take that challenge at this point to, the recap is pretty important. It helps us get the tax bills out on a timely basis. And we have an obligation to do that, and we're running out of time, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, I think that we've all talked about this. Gary, I'm sorry, but not the finance committee, but the board. But just to bring you guys up to speed, we have to get free cash certified soon. We have to get our tax bills out. We have to get all of that stuff done, and time is running out. That if we were going to go with this new director of assessing, you're not going to put them out, put any ads out for another month, and then it's going to take another 2 weeks to get them back. Then you're going to, you have to interview them and then hire them, and then hopefully they know what they're doing. But I think for this year, and we've been saying this for a little while now because it's so late, and I think we can wait until the annual town meeting for next year, and just, there's so much to do right now that we should probably go with a firm like Kim suggested. So I don't know if we take that money out and put it in expenses. I don't know if we, I don't know what everybody wants to do here.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a good idea to me.
So what are you, Kim, David, Gary, do you want to just take it out or should we put it in the expense total?
I think you're going to need to add something to the expenses. What we had done last year, I believe, was $10,000 that we had taken out of personnel and put to expense. Again, that basically was more than enough at that point to do work on the recap. So I would recommend the 10. I think that would be a good start.
I would agree with that.
Is there enough, what are we talking for months though? Like, was it the same amount of months that we'd be using a service or or not?
Well, one thing you had brought up, Lisa, was the reval and why has it gone up quite a bit. Part of what, again, that's out for a proposal right now. But one thing that hasn't been done has been not the revaluation that's required, but it's like a recertification where they need to take a look at every single parcel within the community. So that has been kind of delayed, and that's part of why that increase for the services has gone up, because the cyclical inspections is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So that's being condensed because we have a shorter period of time of the 10-year window to accomplish that. So again, I think that there may be something that a consultant or firm could help address with that issue. And I believe there's also the issue of not looking at market values for properties that have sold and including that data within the valuation piece. So although we had a smaller use of time for the consultant last year to just kind of get us over the hump, I think there would be some other responsibilities and value added that somebody could bring to try to help us with that cyclical, as well as those market values, and even perhaps being out in the field a bit to take a look at some of the properties that need to, that have had work done or whatever, like a property lister type of function. So again, I think it would be, a larger period of time. So now that I'm saying this, maybe 10 isn't even enough, but we didn't use all 10 last time, but I think there definitely would be the ability to at least use 10, maybe even 15.
I was going to suggest 12 just as a, just to go up. I mean, even before you even said that. So I don't care if we do 15, but anywhere between 12 and 15. And then that way, if we have money left over, that's fine. If not, then yeah, there should be shared responsibilities between those two line items, and it'll give us a better understanding of if we do need a director of assessing and what their responsibilities would be as well. So we'll leave it at 15. We'll bring it down and leave it at 15 and go from there. Gary, are you okay with that?
That's good to me.
Trevor, are you okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Craig, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
And Katie?
Yep.
Christine?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, is that it?
Lisa, the only other hold that you had put on there was the Conservation Commission. They requested 2 new seasonal part-time staff positions.
Yeah, so my only question would be is we have a Parks and Recreation Committee now, so I think that those people would oversee some of that. So that's just a conversation I'd have to have where the board would have to have with Parks and Recreation and Conservation. Trevor, do you have any input?
Nope. Sounds
Okay. You can leave it there. I mean, I just think it's a conversation that we need to have. All right. I'll entertain a motion to accept the budget with the recommended changes.
motion granted.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
Okay.
So was
And
this
I-
the recommendations, the board's recommendations that you
Yeah.
just did?
Yes.
And I'll entertain a motion to do the same.
Gary, I'll make the motion.
Okay. And do I have
I'll
a second?
second, Christine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Craig,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
and Christine,
Aye.
and Gary, aye. Okay.
All right, I think that's it, correct, Tim? You want to set, okay, you want to set a time for the town meeting?
Yes. Time and location.
Whatever. Trevor, what are you thinking?
I mean, it makes no difference to me. I'm,
Like
if we
11,
think we'll have,
11, 1?
yeah, I mean, if we think I have more of a turnout afternoon, 1 works for me. I mean,
The suggestion from the moderator was 1 o'clock.
okay, yeah, that works.
I'll entertain a motion to have town meeting at 1 PM on 10/3.
Motion granted.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that would be at Aponequid.
Want to make that part of your motion,
Yes.
Trevor?
Yes.
Okay.
That was-
All right, so Selectman Matthews
yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
All right.
Guys, I just want to thank you. I know it went a little over that I anticipated, but some of these questions needed to be answered, and it's only because the budget, you know, we didn't know what was happening with the budget for the annuals. So I apologize for going over, and everybody have a great night. Thank you.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Christine, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Katie? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, Craig,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Harry, aye. So we are adjourned at 7:10.
Hi, Christine.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
How are you?
Hey, Gary.
All right, I'll entertain a motion, Trevor, to adjourn.
Motion granted.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Bye.
Aye.